and this is my physics assessment for the month April. Here, I would like to explain what I have learned in this month about the movement of force. So, the most basic formula on movement of force is movement is equal to force multiplied by perpendicular distance from the pivot. Now, what exactly does this mean? So, I'm just going to make this bigger sized. Yeah. Let me explain this with a diagram. I am just going to start drawing, perhaps with this color, and let's make a seesaw. Here we are, and this is the center of the seesaw, and this is called a pivot. I'm sorry if my handwriting is a little bad. I'm using my mouse. So here we go. Let's just imagine someone is sitting here and he's on one side of the seesaw. Now, as we do know, weight is equal to the mass. Mass is measured in kilograms, grams, etc. Grams or kilograms multiplied by the force multiplied by the gravity. Okay, so the gravity on Earth is 9.8, which we can assume as 10. So, for example, if the person here is 40 kilograms, his weight would approximately be 400 newtons. Now, so here we've already calculated force. Force and weight are kind of similar. And alright, so now we need to know what is this perpendicular distance from the pivot. I'm gonna just make a small line here, and this is the distance from the pivot, right? So here we go. Let's just say this is approximately 2 meters, and also this is perpendicular. As you can see, there's a right angle 90 degrees. So that means it is perpendicular, and the distance from the pivot. So distance from this guy to the pivot, which is this. Now so now we need to just multiply it simply. 400 multiplied by 2 is equal to 800. Now, is this our answer, or are we missing out something? Of course, the unit. So, this is 400 newtons, right? 400 newtons multiplied by 2 meters. So, this would be N into M. Newton into meter would become Newton meter, Nm. So this is also part of the answer. And one last thing, which is this is the direction. Now let's just the direction can either be clockwise or it can be anti-clockwise. Now we can judge this on the way a clock moves, right? Sorry for my drawings. Clock. So guys, this is a clock, for example, and yeah. Now a clock anti-clockwise, though anti-clockwise is the opposite of clockwise, so it is like this, right? Just gonna label it as AC, anti-clockwise. And the way the clock moves goes like this, right? It goes like this and this and that. This moves this way, right? So this way is clockwise. Alright, so as you can see, this fellow right here, he is on the right. If he was on the left, then he would be moving in the opposite direction. So here he is moving the way a clock moves. So 800 Newton meters clockwise. Alright, and there you go. This would be the final answer. Now, for example, one more thing. To achieve equilibrium, now I'm just gonna erase all of this. Just give me a minute. Yeah. Let me just make a new drawing. New drawing page. Right. So okay. Let's just move this. Move this somewhere. Here. Now, what is this word? This word. Just gonna write down a word. Equilibrium. Now, what does this word mean? It means when two objects, let me just write that down, equilibrium, when two objects are perfectly balanced. Now, for example, like, let's just take the seesaw example again. Here you go. And here. Now, so this, imagine that like the seesaw isn't moving at all. It's not like bending towards one side or bending towards the other side. No, it's just completely in equilibrium. So now the formula for this is F1 D1 is equal to F2 D2. Now what does this stand for? F1 D1 is equal to F2 D2. F stands for force. And D stands for distance, correct? So the force here, that's pulling downwards, and the distance here. So now you multiply them, because if you don't write anything, basic algebra, if you don't like anything, that means it is multiplied. You're just gonna write multiplied. Same for this, F2 D2 multiplied. Alright, so now that means, so F1, first one in newtons, multiplied by distance one here in meters. Also guys, the movement, let me just write that down. Movement is normally written in Newton meters, not Newton centimeters. You can do that too, but let's not get into it now. Alright, so back to this. NM1, force F1 into D1, which is NM1, is completely equal to distance here and newtons, or the weight here, the force. These should be completely the same. Only then the object will be in balance. Now, for example, again, let me just say there's a kid, just a small kid, and he's only 20 kilograms. So he's only 20 kilograms. His weight, his force is only 200 newtons. But there's a lot of space between him and the pivot. So that would be, let's just say, 3 meters. Alright. So now let's just say there's a heavy adult over here. Just another heavy guy. Maybe his dad. His dad is just on the seesaw with him, and his dad weighs let's say 30 kilograms, 300 newtons. Right. So what is the distance his dad is sitting from? Question. What is it? Now what we do know is F1 D1 is equal to F2 D2. In this case, we know F2 D2. Basically, it's 200 multiplied by 3 is equal to 300 multiplied by x. Okay, so when we don't know variable in math and also in physics, we can just simply call it x. Now 200 into 3, that's pretty simple. That's just 600. Let me just 600 is equal to 300 into x. Now let me just grab another paper, and so basically we do know that 300x is equal to 600. Now, one thing, 600, and that's also equal to 200 into 3. Actually, you know what? You shouldn't calculate this. Just leave it as it is. Now we do know that 200 into 3 upon 300, just put this into a simple equation, is equal to x. Alright, so now just cut this out. This becomes 1. Cut this out. This becomes 100. Now just gonna cut out these 2 zeros. Alright, 2 upon 1. 2 upon 1 is equal to 2. Yet again, we're forgetting something. So that something is the distance. What is it in? Is it meters? Is it centimeters? Is it sinews? It is 200 meters. As this was Newton meters. So this x must be meters too. So this is 2 meters. Now I am going to just give you all the sum. Right now we're just gonna grab a 15 kg. Here I'm using Fed Colorado, and I'm using the balancing act, and I'm using a balance lab here. I'm just gonna place this 15 kg weight around here. So 15 kg into 0.75. We're just gonna keep that in mind. And now we do have here. Now we have for example, we have a 5 kg weight with us. Let's just actually move the 15 kg weight one side on the left. So, and instead of 5 kgs, we're gonna take 10 kgs. So we have 10 kgs. And so the question is, where do we drop the 10 kgs so that it is completely balanced? Alright, so 15 into 0.5. Let's just check that out. Red. 15 into 0.5. Right, so we're gonna use the formula again, as we've already learned. F1 D1 is equal to F2 D2. Alright, so this is F1 D1, 15 into 0.5. I hope you all do know that 15 into, that's basically just 1 upon 2. So 15 divided by 2 is equal to 7.5. Now the movement here, which is F into D, is 7.5, or basically the F1 D1 is equal to 7.5. Now we do know the F2 again. So the F2 is 10. So the F2 is 10. Now just simply looking at this, 7.5 upon 10, which is basically 75 upon 100. Also, I got this because we do know, now we know the equation F1 D1. F1 D1 upon F2 is equal to D2. So F1 D1, which is M1, movement 1, is equal to 7.5 upon F2. F2 is 10. Alright, so just gonna simplify that. Not exactly simplify, but here we go. 75 upon 100. And to convert this into a decimal form, there is 0.775. I apologize again for my handwriting, but alright, let's just continue. 0.75. Let's just test it out. Let's see. Do they balance? There you go. They do balance completely. Now, let's take another more complex sum. Now, let's just say there's a kid just sitting here, and let's just make that like that so we don't know. And there's a mom. Alright, so her mom is here, and the kid is sitting all the way right here. So for some reason the kid just wants to be just down. Although her mom is heavier, the kid wants to go down. So what is the least distance? The least distance from the pivot that her mom will go to make the kid go down. Alright, so this is another question. This time we do know F1 D1, and we also do know F2. We know F1 D1, F1 D1 is equal to is equal to 30 into 1.5. 30 into 1.5. So I hope you all know that is 45 Newton meters. Alright, 45 Newton meters is this. Now her mom, she's obviously heavier than her child. Her mom is 60 kilograms. 60 kilograms, and you can only sit like 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, 1. You can't just sit in the middle like that. So her mom needs to be lesser. Like her movement has to be lesser than 45. So now where will she sit? So 45. Now just to balance it out, to completely balance it out, she would have to sit 45 upon 60, which is basically 3 upon 4, which is again 75 upon 100. And there you go, that's 0.75. That's 0.75. But that is if they want to be balanced, which they don't. The child wants to be down. So she'll have to sit lower than that to make her weight lesser. So the lower than that, just about lower than that, is 0.5. Now let's see who goes down. There you go, the child goes down. But if her mom was here, they would be completely balanced. And if his mom was completely here, her mom would be heavier. So the perfect distance is 0.5 meters. Alright, that's all for this video. Thank you so much. Thank you.